Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bomber Banter. Round 9, it's the fan cams. I have a sore tummy. I can't keep doing this, guys. I literally cannot keep doing this. I feel sick to my stomach. Put your hands up if you got to the fourth half time and you thought, yeah, how good, we got this. Because I call bullshit. But hello, chat. How are you all doing? Talk to me. We're going to spend the next couple of hours together. I felt so good for 3 quarters, which is an improvement from last week after just one good quarter. But I have to say, we did everything to lose that game. Sydney could not kick a goal. They did not want to win it. But in the end, how exceptional was our last few minutes? The maturity to do that. And I was listening on the radio on the way home to Nick Martin, who said that they practiced that post I think it was the Port Adelaide game. They took too many set shots too quickly in the last few minutes. And they really trained that whole notion of share the ball around, just get another contested mark, close or inside 50, milk another 30 seconds off the clock, and etc. On and on, to keep doing that. So that was exceptional. You couldn't have faulted them for dropping their heads and feeling like this is like completely out of our grasp now. They looked powerless. It felt powerless watching them. Sydney threw caution to the wind, used the corridor. They were taking marks that they would drop that, they were dropping in the first 3 quarters. It was a heart stopper. We did not kick a goal in that last quarter. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't even seen the stats. I don't know. I've raced home from Marvel. I literally scoffed a couple of mouthfuls of pasta and sat straight down. So I have not seen any stats. Tell me who was very good, who fared well on the stat sheet but wasn't that good. Being at the game, I thought Nick Martin was absolutely exceptional, best on, closely followed by Zach Reid. I feel so lucky and so happy that we have him. I hope, I can see the future in his face. I can see the future of this team in his face. And, seeing Ben Mackay and Lewis Hayes and Zach Reid turn their back and walk after an Essendon goal and walk back to their positions I just had a flash forward to the future. And I thought, wow, this could be something. We could have something here. So, I also thought McGrath and, all our defenders, I thought our back 6 held up so well. They probably had too much possession for my liking, given that we were just letting it down there too much. But, man, they held up well. Andrew McGrath and, Ben Mackay had probably the best games that I've seen them play. You probably should check on your North mates because they'll be having breakdowns watching Ben Mackay excel. So, all right, I'm going to pop the link into the chat. I need all of you to come and take the wheel for a bit from me. Tell me, especially you guys who were at home, what was the feel like? What was the mood like? Did it feel really as panicked as we were on the ground in that last quarter? Also, I'd like to know who was on commentary so I know what I'm getting in the replay later. There is the stream. Click that link. You'll jump into the staging area and we'll have a chat. Who is with me? Hey, Pommy. Moby, you're walking back from the station. Good. Michael, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Great win. Let's hope Hazy's okay. Oh, God. What is that really an ACL? Is that looking like an ACL? That is you couldn't script that. I'm kind of thankful that they're all happening pre the mid-season draft, but I still think that's ridiculously unlucky. James, nothing better than beating this love child wanker club like you, Sydney. Yes, it is nice to beat them, isn't it? Oh, my God. LJ, mate, another 5 years off the lifespan. What are we up to now, LJ? Like, Jade, good to see you. The link is below, my friend. This is going to be an interesting fan cam. Yes. Anthony, how are you? Do you have the night off? Oh, God. Okay. That makes me really upset to hear. Chris Meister, any win over the Swans is fantastic. Yes, I agree. On Hayes, if you get any updates from the TV or from online while we're here, let me know. Put them in the chat. Pommy, how about them Bombers, eh? I think everybody lost a tip this week, including myself, but I will take it. Those first 3 quarters were fun, so fun. McGrath was massive. Yes, he was. Zach Reed, GOAT. William, not even kidding. He will be in the All-Australian team in no time. Yeah, Will. Extend Zach Reed's 5,000 years. Absolutely. Extend him. Give him all the money. Ben Mackay, huge. Agree. So what happened in the last? Went into our shells. We're playing defensive the entire second half. Our Hawley was shut down and our run was choked. So that has more to do with Sydney, right? Because on the way home from the game, the commentary was all about, I was oscillating between Triple M and ABC, and they were all talking about how bad Sydney's injuries were. So I think they did not give us enough credit. And I say this, we're absolute babies, and they have injuries. So we both have excuses. I just don't think it was all that Sydney were bad. I think we made them bad. Ethnic, just made a batch of pasta sauce. This Arvo, devouring it now with homemade meatballs. Ethnic, if I had not committed to this, I have the same. I made it yesterday and it was really good, and I just scoffed some cold actually because I didn't have time to heat it up, and so good still. Emmanuel, thank you for being here. Thank you. I mean, it never comes easy, but we'll take it, right? The replay will be good. The replay will be fun. Yes, bolognese for mine. I made some bolognese, get that protein in. Ethnic, Murdy's Herd-esque, plays anywhere with impact, prefer him up forward though. Yeah, I thought he was a great leader tonight too. I thought, I saw a lot of instances where he was pointing and directing, and he probably had to really step up in that department this week because we were so young. I mean, I just take Goldie out of the equation, but on Goldie, man, he was so good. I haven't rated Grundy's season to date, but Goldie was so good, really good. Blake's Aquatics, MCL, I think. Hope. Blake, tell me, how long is an MCL? Is that season ending as well, or what? James, Laverty, Goldson, and Shield all playing in a rebuild year is sickening. We never get nice things. Look, my take on that is you cannot, as I said on the team selection, you cannot just let all the ducklings, push them all out into the lake and let them drown, because at some point it has a negative effect on their development and their confidence. And sometimes you can have an opposite effect. So I don't hate the Goldstein. I mean, obviously you prefer Draper, but I don't hate the Goldstein and Shield being in the team. Laverty, I don't know how. I mean, maybe back there can be one of the experienced on the line, but McGrath's down there, Redmond's down there, Ridley was down there. That's okay for leadership. Is this on Hayes? At least in the rooms he was standing and walking around fine. No ice, no bandages, nothing. Okay, so tell me, does that mean that's good, right? Was Draper and Brian not doing that? You don't do that when you have an ACL. Pommy, did you tip the Bombers? I can't remember what we did on your show. Man, that's 2 for 2, yeah? No, 3. You're 3 from 3 because you tipped the Pies. I tipped Freo, and tips have not been good. Oof. Harry, Heavy Cats, thank you for being here. My tips have been poor this week, but happy to lose this one. Amen. Hello, my friend. Jimmy, thank you for being here. We are allergic to putting the foot on the throat. We don't need Harley read, though. We already have the best read in the league. Yes, facts. Yes, yes, yes. Love it. Love it. That is great. G-Pat. Reed getting crunched, then getting straight back up like it was nothing might be my favourite bit. Oh, I can't wait to watch the replay. I want, hook that into the veins. He looks confident in his body. Like, who would have thought that we'd be seeing him do that ever? Amazing. James, I saw a bit of post-match coverage and they had the camera on in the Sydney room for ages. Like, go figure. Here's this team that nobody tipped. 2 debutants, young. Half our team is dropping like flies. James, you had pasta tonight too. Yes, perfect. Love it. Okay. Sticks. Thank you for being here. Great start to the game. Dropped away in the second half, but very happy with this win against a very good Sydney team. I mean, even though they're half strength, I still always think Sydney and Geelong, and to an extent Collingwood, have the ability to absolutely pip you. Long mint. A woman needs her protein. Absolutely. Get all that protein in me. This is a tangent, but the second I started doubling the protein I eat in a day, everything started working better. So there's a little aside tip. Okay, that's a tangent. Let's get to some of my lovely, lovely Bomber people hanging on in the staging area. Hello, Taz.
Hello.
You're here.
Oh, see, she dies. It's gone. Hello,
What?
Fiona.
Hello. How are you?
We are still out. We are still out and we are still celebrating.
Yes. How was it? How were you on your feet after that does goal? For those of you who don't know, the lovely woman that is Taz, she is Durham's #1 fan. Absolutely. She grabbed him. Was it his first year? How early did you take him under your wing?
Yeah, as he was drafted, my daughter got on him, so we were there and we sponsored him from his first year. Yeah.
Amazing. So you have absolute claims on Durham. What did you do after that mark?
Oh, the mark. Look, it deserved a goal, didn't it? Come on, it deserved a goal.
Rewind and take the goal again. It really deserved a goal.
I don't know if the mark and the goal that he kicked, I was very, very worried when he went off injured in the last.
What happened?
I did something to do with his foot, but he did come back on. So big exhale moment for me. Yeah.
Yeah. He had some incredibly good moments tonight. He and Setterfield were switching between Heaney and Warner. And in the last, they both looked like they were out on their feet. And Heaney and Warner got off the chain a little bit. How did you see his job on the mids?
Look, I think does this year, he's been solid. I reckon he's always in our best, but he doesn't do anything outstanding necessarily. I think we expect him to. But he definitely always does his job. He's never like, I don't know, we expect a lot from him, but he's always just doing his job.
Yeah, I mean, and I think he's been given a lot of tasks this year to sit on players to kind of, to take out their effect on a game. So he's probably not having as much attacking in his game as we're used to. So that's probably got a lot to do with it.
Yeah, and look, he does that. And he still has his moments. He's strong, and that goal where he just pushed off people to kick that goal, he's one of our toughest, and he's always the bottom of the pack. And I've got lots of people here. Yeah. But yeah, look, I think Mark of the Year, I think we all need to vote for him for Mark of the Year, because undoubtedly he'll be up for nominations after that mark. And look, I wish it had been a goal for him, but everyone knows how much I love Duz. I still love Duz, and I'm still president of that committee, but I think I'm sort of going to join the Reed fan club after today.
Oh my God, like as someone said in the chat, Like, sign him up for 500 years. Give him all the money. Don't worry about Harley Reid. Give all the money to Zach Reid.
No, I like our Reid. I'm keeping ours. Yep.
Absolutely.
Look, as far as a team effort, I would hate to have to pick a passenger tonight, but Zach Reid, take a bow, because as much as I don't know that one player won us the game, he was close. Yeah, so look, I love my duds. I'll always love my duds, but geez, after today, Zach Reid, yeah, A+ effort.
Yeah, it was amazing. Along with Martin, I think, best on. They were incredible.
Yeah, Marto amazing. And look, shout out to Benny as well, because there was a whole row of Essendon supporters behind us that wanted to pot him. And we did turn around. Me and James Lowry were sitting together, and we did turn around and actually ask for a please explain. So
good.
We called them out, and it was delightful. Actually, it was
good.
Delightful.
There was absolutely nothing you could say about Ben's game. Joel Hamling was unsighted until that last, and didn't. I don't think he kicked the goal anyway, but. I just like the North fans are probably rolling over in the feeder position, rocking. You know.
I think, especially like I have a lot to do with Twitter, and a lot of people have popped in because of this $1 million man business. That people are a little bit too illiterate that can't understand a contract. But today was good, and I can't pick the last time a key forward kicked goals against Essendon. So that's all on you, Benny. The other one that people like to take a pot on is Pidge.
Yes.
And look, I love Pidge shutting them down today. Like, he just had such a game. So, look, he had a time here. There was a terrible handball at one stage. He got into trouble at some stage. And I turned to James and sort of said, that's what people will see. But if they actually are serious supporters, they'll see everything else he did. So
yeah, I couldn't agree more, Taz. I thought anybody who chooses after this game to focus on any of Andy McGrath's maybe one or two mistakes are just completely looking for something to bag him on. And same with the Ben Mackay situation.
Look, I'm going to steal a line from James before I go, and sort of just say, like, this was a game, all the Essendon supporters that love to go out whipping boys, they're all silent today.
Zero things you can say.
Zero.
Yay.
And mark of the year to Does.
Everybody vote for Does when it comes out, because you know those Collingwood fans are going to vote for whichever one of their Bobby Hills or Howes get up and take mark of the century. So everybody vote for Does. Thank you for coming on. I love you. All right. I think somebody's giving me an update on Hayes. I need to. Hayes has almost done an ACL, according to Riley Beveridge. Oh, John, thank you, John, for giving me an update. Brad Scott saying Lewis Hayes almost certain ACL. You literally could not write this. Someone please do a Google search. Please do a Google search and Google it. Has any club ever had like 3 season-end or 4 season-ending injuries in 1 year, or 3 ACLs and 1 Achilles, like big ones? Fucking hell. Jade! Welcome to Bomber Banter!
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm honoured.
Oh, my gosh. I have been waiting for you.
I'm honoured. Thanks, Fiona.
She is probably, if not the most, one of the most dedicated Essendon supporters you will ever come across. She flies the flag in the good and the bad for the girls, the women, the men, the VFL. She is a true supporter. Talk to me, Jade. How are you feeling? Tell me this. How do you go during these close games? Are you a heart stopper? What? How do you?
I was nervous, but I was a bit frustrated at the same time, because once we got to the third quarter and we started going we kind of just put on the brakes, and I'm like, shit, here we go. I'm not taking another close game, and it's always against Sydney as well. And it's like, fuck's sake, boys, just keep going. I know you might be tired, but you just got to keep going.
Yeah, they looked buggered, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They were absolutely cooked by about probably almost the fourth quarter. And I was like, oh, shit, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
You
but
feel
no,
like-
really, I'll take the 4 points. I don't care how we got them, but I'll take them.
Yeah. I mean, we always do. Do you panic? How do you, like, do you just focus all your energy on, like, supporting and cheering and yelling, or are you sitting there and go into your shell a bit?
No, I use all my energy and everything, pretty much just supporting and screaming and shouting and everything, as you'll see if you watch the replay, and you'll see me on TV going ballistic. But that's just how I am. Like, this is my therapy, as crazy as it sounds.
It's a good release, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it is. But no, it was a good win today. It was. I'll take it.
Who would you have as best on today?
So to me, it was probably Zach Reid. I think he really held the back line today. And I would have, like, if Lewis Hayes played a full game, I would have probably held him as well. Like, for him to have a first game, and he was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal for his first game. So I was very, very proud of him. And even Andy Maguire, like, I would say that was probably Andy Maguire's probably best game I've seen him probably ever play in my eyes. Like, he was just full on, just took the play on, just got the ball, just ran through the middle as many times as he could and just cleared the ball out. And it's exactly what we need in a defender. So I was very, very happy with how he played.
Yeah, he gave us a lot of run, and for the first time probably in a long time, he was really thoughtful with his disposal. He wasn't just bombing into no man's land. He was lowering the eyes. He did better under pressure.
Yeah.
Those little 360 run around in circle things he does. I think we only saw maybe 2 or 3 of them tonight rather than 27 of them. So that was really good. Jade, you went to the VFL today too.
I did. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I did. Yes.
They had a great win. Talk about a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
How'd they do that?
No, they did very well, actually. It was probably not what I expected whatsoever. If I have to choose who was like best on ground for that game, I'd say it was Cale Jaron. Like, he played phenomenal. I think he ended up with like 3 or 4 goals. And I'm like, all right, if you can keep this consistency going, he's due for a game.
Yeah, he was strong in a funny way. He looks a lot like Pat Voss.
He does, yes.
He's got the same kind of haircut, the same shirt. He looks strong and powerful. And I reckon he needs a few more games, but he could be a big presence for us up forward.
I think he can be, because he's an extra tall in the forward line as well, which is what we need. Like, even though we've got our young boys who can be either tall or short, but I'd rather more talls. It just helps it out a lot easier to take good marks. So
and line up on really good defenders as well.
Exactly.
How did Elijah Sardis go?
He actually played really well. Like, I thought he started off a bit slow at first, but it was hard to kind of read where he was. But he played very, very well. I think he got almost 40 disposals. Okay. And I was just like, oh, okay, fair enough, you can do this in the 2s. I'd love you to do this in the 1s. But to me, I feel like he's just lost confidence. And I feel like he just needs a bit more. I think he just needs a bit more to rebuild a little bit in the 2s for a bit longer, just to get his confidence back up. And then if he can play like he did today coming into the 1s, I'd be happy with that. But again, it all depends who we're going to bring in. Like, this is the problem now. Like, we've got a lot of players that are good in the VFL, and we just don't have the players we can take out of the 1s to take them into the 2s. Like, it's just really difficult.
Yeah, especially in that, as you say, in that midfield area. I mean,
exactly.
Steele was the sub, Parrish potentially to come back. So it is a tight squeeze, and it's just unfortunate. Like, if we were depleted in the midfield, Sardis is getting the spot. Like, there's just no question. It is purely situational with Sardis. And but I don't think it's bad to go to the VFL and just wait and earn your spot and work.
I don't either. No.
Yeah, I think I think he should I think, I mean, it's hard because he's probably very frustrated. He's probably in his head
Yeah,
thinking,
he is. He is. You can tell by the look on his face that he is a bit frustrated, because I think he probably also might assume that, oh, you know, I'm a top 10 pick. I should be able to play every week. And it's like, well, no, you've got to earn your spot just like everybody else does. So you can tell he is a bit annoyed, but, you know, he played a really good game today, and I just want to see that consistency from him. If he can keep the consistency going for a couple of weeks in the VFL and bring that into the ones, then he'll get a spot back.
Yeah. I mean, it's a matter of like being so good that you're going to force the coach's hand. Like
exactly.
Be so exceptional in the VFL that you have to. If one mid is even 5% off in the ones, you're forcing the coach's hand. Like that's how I see it.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's exactly why, though, as well, like with Elijah and with Jai Menzies, that's why they both got dropped. And people are like, why did they get dropped? And I'm like, well, you look at how it was like for the last month. Like, yeah, Elijah played a couple of games, but you look at Jai Menzies, he played every game and he just wasn't consistent. And I'm like, I'm sorry, if you're not going to be consistent, please don't stay in the team. It's just a waste of a spot. I'd rather have someone in who's going to actually play and do their job and help us win games, which is why Jai got mainly dropped. But he did play well today in the VFL as well. So we had a lot of good standouts today in the VFL, so it was good to see.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't know if you know much about the Sydney team that we played in the VFL, but were they, I mean, I can assume that if their main team is depleted, their VFL are also depleted. I know they had Laddams, possibly a couple of other AFL-listed players, but a 65-point win in a developing one side should, you know, a technically a young two side is really probably, like in the past we would have said we're so shit because our development is so shit, but you look maybe there's something here.
I think so too. I really do. Like Sydney didn't have very many senior players in their team today, but it didn't matter though. Like, but also Sydney weren't kicking straight. Like for the entire game, they just could not kick a goal to save themselves. Whereas we were actually kicking pretty well and consistently as well. And I was like, oh, can we do this in the ones as well? And then I'll be a happy girl.
Yeah, well, we did. We kicked. It was a bit the same story in the game tonight. We kicked really consistently and really efficiently. Sorry, and they couldn't really. So yeah, I think some really good signs, and mainly, you know, a tick for development, which we've all been looking and bemoaning for so many years. So if the VFL is showing signs, you know, and they've got some heart. I like that they've got some heart. They really fight to the end when, you know, when they're under the pump. So, yeah. Well, Jade, thank you so much for jumping on and having a chat.
My pleasure. Thank you, Fiona. Thank you. I'm honoured. Thank you very much.
You're welcome anytime. Don't wait for an invite.
Always.
Just jump on. Have a great night, Jade.
Will do. You too. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye. Oh, gosh. I think I've settled a bit now. I've talked myself into, actually, that was a really good win. And, you know, I am going to feel good. Michael, does anyone see a bit of Paul Vander hair in Nate Caddy? I don't know. Tell me. Tell me, chat. Anthony, MCL, 8 to 10 weeks, done both of mine. Ooh, okay, that's not fun. What are the chances? He has stayed so healthy in the VFL, right? He hasn't had an injury. And then he comes for his first game and he gets I'm sorry. You can't. J-Mar, the stats man. Thank you for being here, J-Mar. I'm a Lions fan, but my third team is the Bombers. Oh, okay, now I need to know who your second team is. Who's the second team? J-Mar, please tell me. Great day for the club. Win the VFL, VFLW, and the AFL. Yes, it is good. Ethnic also had to finish the bottle of red wine using the sauce. You know what? I didn't even have time to pour myself a glass of wine, but after we finish up here, I will be on it. Mick, hello. You need older players to help the younger players. Agree. Yep, absolutely. Will, thank you so much for being here. Zach Reed, immortal. Is he not? Is he not? I just love him. Long Mint. Dons will get pumped next week. Yeah, I probably agree with you. Bulldogs are Flying. He ain't a reed, he's an oak tree. Yes, he is solid like an oak. I am pumped up about Reed. I will say everyone around us, when Hayes went down, we were behind the Essendon cheer squad goals on level 2. And everyone, like a few people around us were saying, oh my God, it's Zach Reed gone down. Wow. That did not go down well. I was panicking. Enjoy your evening, ladies and gents. Gutsy holdout win, by far the better side. Look forward to becoming frenemies in 3 weeks. Oh, Carlton game. I'd love to win that. Bomber fans chat. Wouldn't you just love to win that game? It's not going to happen. And then it's going to happen again because we play them twice. So that's going to be a disaster. That's going to be really bad. Yeah. Ethnic. Notice the Dons tackling with more discipline lately. Can't remember the last free kick against for a high tackle. Great point. And I feel like we stuck a lot of tackles today. I think maybe I saw Hobbs miss one, maybe Roberts one, but we stuck tackles. We absolutely stuck tackles. Bomber Boy and anybody else, the link is in the chat. All you have to do is click on the link in the chat and you will be taken to, I believe, the YouTube site, and then you just log in and you will come onto the stage and you just hang out there until I get you on. Sad news for Lewis Hayes, but Laverty with over 30 possessions in the twos, well timed. Okay, so if absolutely necessary, which it is looking like, unless is there a better defender than Laverty in the preseason, in the mid-season draft? Because probably not as good as Ridley, probably not as good as Hayes, but is there a better quality defender as good as Laverty in the mid-season? That could possibly happen. Hello, Sam.
Hi. How are you?
How are you? I'm good. How are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you?
I'm here. I'm here now.
Where? Whereabouts are you?
At the Grosvenor Hotel. Loads of footy fans.
Yes. Yeah. Happy footy fans?
Yeah, very, very happy. Very happy.
So I'm assuming you were at the game, yeah?
Yeah, I was at the game.
Good.
Great win. Excellent performance. I felt watching the game, I felt, Sydney were always going to come.
Yep.
Sydney were always going to come at us. They've got some, very good players like Heaney, Warner, James Jordan, Rowbottom. They've got great players over the ground, and they're a good team as they made a grand final last year, and they're having a bit of a poor run. So they were always going to come at us. And I was pleased the way that we just grounded it out in the end.
Yeah, I think I got a bit complacent. After 3 really good quarters, and I forgot that Sydney were going to come, or that a team is always going to have a bit of momentum. And it kind of shocked me for a second. But, man, did they look exhausted, but they held up really well, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when Lewis Hayes got injured, when he hurt his knee, I think my heart sank. And I think maybe this is where bad luck is starting to come back. But in the end, we did well. We did okay. And we were able to hold Sydney off in the end when they were really coming. I mean, they did.
Yeah.
They missed a lot of opportunities, which, that really hurt them, but helped us in a sense. And it doesn't really matter in the end. We got the win, and that's what we'll take.
Absolutely. I mean, bad kicking is bad football. And how many times have we kicked ourselves out of games because we missed so many set shots or, shots on goal? That's just, that makes you a good footy club. And we just today were really, really efficient. And I'm sure we will kick ourselves out of games many more in the future. But I wonder if it's. I can't quite remember how on point were their shots at goal. Were they under? Were they on hard angles, or were they all like? Did we force them to harder angles?
Yeah. I think they did miss a lot. A lot from really close in front, like the Francis.
Okay.
The Francis one where he kicked it. I think he miskicked it. And, a lot of them were, I guess, sort of outside 50, but majority of them were really, really poor. But in the end, we'll take it. As I said, we were also really accurate, which also helped us. And yeah, it was a pleasing game, and I think it was the first game I think this year where I've really gone, sort of all in on the team and the optimism, and I think hopefully it can be a start. We're in the 8 for now, but
Crazy.
there's tough games ahead. Bulldogs next week will be very, very tough.
Yeah, agree.
It will be very tough. We're again coming up against another good ruckman in English for Goldie, and yeah, they've got good players as well, like Bonds and Norton and all those likes. But I think it'll be a tough game, but enjoying the win for now.
Yeah, completely agree, Sam. Well, have a few drinks to celebrate extra tonight, and go Bombers.
Absolutely, go Bombers. See ya.
Thank you, Sam. Bye. LJ, 40 disposals and a goal for Sardis. That's a fair hit out. A fair hit out in a 65-point win. Mariella, hi Fiona, just got back from the game. Woohoo! PS, love Jade. Yes, much love to Jade. Thank you for being here, Mariella. Another one with Scott confirmed it's most likely an ACL. Well, they would be well versed in identifying the ACLs by now, wouldn't they? Whew. Moby, Orcs, big boys land terribly at times. Playing on the concrete at Marble doesn't help. I actually didn't see what happened. Again, it was down the other end, right down the other end of where I was sitting. Did it look bad when he actually went down? Ian, thank you for being here. Who needs exercise? This team gives me a cardio workout. I mean, facts, absolute facts. Cardiac arrest is a medical condition. Can we get medical certificates for this? Will the club pay for my therapy? Like, we need to get this onto like the NDIS system thing. 20-year rebuild. Whew. That hurts, but, true. Still some upside in the midfield. Sardis 40 plus in the VFL. Parrish to come back. Caldwell will be better for the run. Yeah, I thought Caldwell was off, but he's coming back from injury and he gets a pass. Bomber boy, click the link, my friend. Click the link and jump on. It's gone beyond a joke. These injuries, club medical staff never overhaul. It's so cruel. This kid has waited 3 years to debut, and now he's done for the next 12 months. Well, hopefully not. But yeah, it is looking like that. I don't know. What do you think, chat? Are we saying it's mostly? Do we think it's the medical staff, or do we think this is literally just the definition of bad luck? My gut says the latter, but I can't be trusted. My opinions cannot be trusted now. Matt, thank you for being here. Congrats on your win. Yes, you give me a hard time, but I think we earned this one, right? I think we did. Nick, thank you for being here. I hope you're well. Hope you enjoyed the night. Thoughts on Sheila's the sub. Personally, not a fan. Needs to start. I was happy with Sheila's the sub only because it meant a debutant wasn't sub, and also Al Hooley wasn't the sub, and Setterfield wasn't the sub. So for me, it was the perfect sub, not because of the player he is, but out of all of them, he's the one who I would have preferred as the sub. But yeah, I don't think he's the sub type. He's not in that mold. But how do you get him in the team? Chat, what do you think? Daniel, go Bombers, great channel from Daniel in Vermont. Read was awesome. Hi, Daniel. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey. How'd you get home so quickly from the game? Well, I just used my elbows and elbowing people out of the way to get back to my car. And I parked right at the exit, and I live about 11 minutes from Marvel Stadium. So we haven't had an MCG game, so that's going to be tricky. Very, very tricky. All right, let's see who else we got here. Hello, my friend.
Hi.
How are you? Got to be happy.
Good now. Sorry.
You got to be happy with that.
Yes, very happy. I was still pretty confident, even up to like 14, 15 points in front. I'm like, we're fine. But then I kicked another one. I'm like, we're not fine.
Did you watch from home?
No. I just walked in the door then and started watching. So, yeah.
Amazing. All right, tell me. So at the 14, how many points did you say did you start to doubt?
Like, I think they kicked a goal to get within maybe, was it like 11 or 9 or something? And it was basically 2 goals to kick with still 6 minutes left. I'm like, that's so doable.
Yeah, 100%. And especially because we looked so exhausted that I thought there is just no run here. There is no, and I didn't blame them. I wasn't mad at it because they had fought so hard. And I thought this is going to be cool if we just drop this. And I think the footy gods were on our side.
Yeah, well, I think obviously towards the end there, we had a few marks just on the 50 where we could have gone, I'll take my 30. And then we chipped away and then found another one on the 50, I'll take my 30. And I was like, that's good. And then I sort of looked down at my phone and all of a sudden, Zach Reed's got it in the defensive 50. I'm like, what?
Yeah. It got down there quick, really quick.
That's okay,
Really
but
quick.
yeah, so, and there was, I think, I don't know who kicked it from Sydney, but it's sort of like a snap from 50, and he started celebrating. And then, sorry?
I think it was Haywood, I think.
Okay. And did we mark it or spoil it or something right on the line?
Yeah.
Yeah, and and from there I was like, okay, I think we're okay now. So,
Okay, so
yeah, a few things definitely went our way.
Yeah, I think we did, but I also think when it mattered, I think we earned it. Like a few things definitely in the universe. Thank you, Dave. It was a free kick in the end on the line. Okay, yeah, great. Thank you for confirming that.
Because they tackled him. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, like this game didn't feel, even though a few things went our way, which I definitely feel they did, like Sydney, like Aaron Francis missing that goal, like, and ridiculous things. But I didn't feel for a second that, we're being gifted this game. Like, no,
we kind of forced the pressure. We kind of forced the errors and whatnot. So, because it happens to us all the time where we get pressured and do silly things. So I think we played the game that enabled these things to go our way, which is what we as Essendon fans complain about all the time.
Yes,
that we don't do these things, and we did them tonight, and it fell our way. So it was a really good game.
It's such a good point, and it just goes to show that, like, that saying, you make your own luck. Well, in a sense, that's exactly what happened tonight. That's what I felt.
Well, someone put up the other day about the 1%ers stats on Twitter or whatever it's called, and yeah, I sort of said, this is where we're falling down. Like, it's the work rate, it's the effort. And people came at me, that's fine, whatever. But we did those things tonight and we got the plaudits. So, I mean, it's there. The stats there for the taking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think one person, I don't know who you've talked about so far, so sorry if I'm repeating. But the one guy, apart from Reed, apart from, some of those ones that sort of had the really great games, the one that I sort of wasn't questioning, but he had a couple of quiet games, but he was huge tonight, not just around the goal square, but all around the ground. Nate Caddy, like, he was massive.
Yes, we actually haven't spoken about him. And right up until the last quarter, he was running. All right, talk to me. Tell me everything about what you loved.
Oh no, just his marking ability on the wing, his marking ability in the forward line, his ability to bring the ball to ground when the mark wasn't on, and the ability and his ground ball gets like clean pickups and the ball came shooting out. I didn't see a flaw in his game tonight. It was huge. I don't know what he ended up with possessions wise, goals, I forget, but I found his game was well rounded and it was just so good for the team.
Yeah. Again, I think he is just walking taller with 2 meter Peter back. 2 meter Peter all night. He had the spare because Sydney kept a spare off from Blakey down in our forward line, and 2 meter Peter had 2 on him the whole game. The whole game.
Yeah,
literally the whole game. And props to him, he did not get outmarked. So props to him on that. But it allowed Caddy to really, to make some leads and to create some space.
Oh, 100%. And even on the wing, he was sort of roaming around there, creating that marking abilities. But one thing Sydney did do well, and you just sort of mentioned it, they had the 2 on 2 meter Peter, but they did very well for that one guy to transition to become a 2-on-1 on Langford as well. I found at times Langford had 2 on him because they were good at preempting who was going to end up with a footy, and so they were very good at that. Where Langford wasn't too influential tonight, but he had 2 on him, got blanketed a little bit. But yeah, 2 meter Peter especially. But we have other guys kicking goals and midfielders kicking goals, which we need as well. So the whole game was so good. We let him back in. But we do that. We don't win games by 40. We just don't do it. It's not in our game plan. So it's kind of expected. But we held off, and we held off pretty well, I thought.
Yeah, I think I thought we, especially in that last 3 minutes, I think it was 2 minutes or so, I think it was an exceptionally mature way to end the game. And I'm really, really proud of. And I don't know, for those of you watching at home, was the camera panning on Brad Scott? Because if he was not sitting there looking like a proud dad, then I don't know what is going to make this guy proud. Because they would have just practiced that over and over at training, and they executed it to perfection. So very proud of them. Thank you for bringing up Caddy, because we hadn't spoken of him yet. We've been lauding Zach Reid and how amazing he was, and Andrew McGrath and Ben Mackay and Martin. But Caddy was brilliant, and long may that continue. Thank you so much, Jared. Have a good night. Will you watch the replay?
It's recorded all the time, so it's there. I probably won't watch it tonight. I'll probably get up in the morning and crank it on first up in the morning, I reckon, to start my day. Definitely.
Beautiful. All right. Have a good night, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Excuse me, Dennis, did he really? No. Tell me, someone confirm that, please. Did Jackson Pryor really have 14 marks? Wow. Okay. Props. That is really good. What were they? Contested, uncontested? What? Can't say I noticed him that much, but that is good. That is a good day out. I mean, Reid would have had something like that too, yeah? 14 marks. That is good. That is really good. Yeah. Paulie, Caddy was awesome. His second efforts were insanely good. Yes, good call. Good call, Paulie. Thank you for being here. Even in that last, when everybody looked exhausted, and he would have been too, he was still just trying. He was running up and back, and he had his tongue hanging out, wagging, and he just was exhausted. But yeah, couldn't agree more. He just does not stop. Opportunity Pride was very professional today. Okay, good. Prior opportunity. Nice. I'm delirious. Troy, thank you for being here. Go Bombers. Yes, go Bombers. I just feel so proud of that. Isn't it funny how your feeling and your perception changes after a win? After a win against a team that has been so professional and so good versus last week's win against a team who we just expected to thrash. Brett, you want to talk votes? All right. 3 Caddy, 2 Nico Martin, 1 Pigeon. Ooh, I like it. I like it. I just don't know if I can leave Zach Reid out of my votes. Zach Reid for me, 3. Nick Martin, 2. I'll keep him there. And, yeah, I'm going to give Pigeon the 1 because you know what? He freaking bloody deserves it. Really happy, really, really happy for him. Dennis, about Pryor, yes. Crazy. Good on him. Good on him. Reid had 14 as well. Yeah, it felt like it. Absolutely felt like it. Really, really felt like it. But my boy, Red Dog was good tonight. Oh, God. Okay, can we talk about Redmond? In the second, he gave a handball off. We had momentum. I think we'd kicked 2 or 3 in a row. He gave a handball off to a standing still with 2 opponents hanging off him, Merritt, who lost it. And then the Swans went on to have 3 shots of goal. I was really dirty on him after that. Really dirty. But, yeah, I think he had a good game post that. Dave. Can't hear you. You're on mute. Take yourself off mute. Hey.
Sorry about that.
Dave, you have the upper hand on your family. Yay.
Apparently the people sitting in front of my dad was he was very quiet throughout the game, and then as most vlogs are, you know, one little thing that went Sydney's way, he just blew up, and everyone kind of turned around and go, "Who's that guy over there?" But
I mean, tell me, you were home. I think everyone I've spoken to tonight was at the game. So I want to hear everything. How did it look like on TV? Did it feel like we had the momentum for 3 quarters and then in the last we just ran out of legs? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I don't know if we ran out of legs. I just think in that there was a space of about 10 minutes in that last quarter where we just couldn't get it past the wing basically, and a few of our possessions coming out of the back line just weren't. We weren't kind of killing it on the boundary line, and a couple of handballs kind of got intercepted and stuff like that. So it wasn't. We were. You know, I don't think we were looking to score at all. I don't think, you know, there was a couple of opportunities where we took it down there, but I just thought we were trying to hold the ball. We were just trying to keep possession for as long as we could. And then we knew, like, you could tell, I don't know, at the ground, but you could tell on the TV as soon as Sydney got it, they were off.
Yep.
And they had spread us. They had spread us pretty well. But the guys in the back line just stood up so well. And the amount of help that they got. But, you know, 1 goal and then another goal and then another goal. And then you're kind of finding pieces of paper to scrunch up in your hand or just trying to bite. I was biting nails.
I bet.
And so it got tight, but I just, I was pretty happy and pretty impressed. And Caddy, you were talking about Caddy then, his ability to, I mean, the tank that kid must have on him, his ability to run just up and down the ground all day. And I don't know how much time he spent on the bench, but he was up the ground and then back down to the forward line straight away. He was so good. And they were commenting on that on Fox quite a bit, which was good to hear.
Who commentated the game, Dave? Who have I got to look forward to for the replay?
Jonesy was on the ground. She was on. I can't even remember. Nick wasn't Rewalt. It was who's the Richmond guy?
Jack Rewalt.
Jack Rewalt was there. So he was special comments. I can't remember. To tell you the truth.
Who you can't remember who actually commentated the game?
Dunstall? No, was Dunstall there? No, I don't even know. Honestly, Anthony Hudson. There you go. There's one.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Okay, that's good.
And the other one I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, sorry.
Wow, that's like a short-term memory, is it not? I mean, I know it was a
Oh,
heartstopper.
for the commentary, I wasn't listening as much as I was watching watching the game. I was watching it very intently this weekend, which was good. So, but I've had a look at the stats. You were talking about Redmond there. His
what are the
disposal
stats
efficiency
saying?
in the end, 90% disposal efficiency for the game was
Wow.
Redmond. So I know he did a couple of things, but I actually thought he was one of our best players tonight. I thought he was one of our best players. Yeah, definitely. Zach Reed, Nick Martin, Setterfield was awesome.
Okay.
He had where was his numbers? He had like 28 possessions. Setterfield, he had 8 tackles. He was the highest tackler with who else? Yeah, Setters and Durham had 8 tackles each.
Yeah.
McGrath, obviously, Mackay in the back line. I thought at the start of the game that his first kind of half was fantastic, and then he was all about. I don't think he didn't really need an opponent towards the end there. I think he had the wood over whoever he was playing on, so he was just helping out in every contest that he could. That's what you could see on the TV. He was involved in a lot of contests in that back half in the last quarter as well. Goldstein, like I know Grundy's not having the best patch at the moment and stuff, but I'd take my hat off to that guy to do that at that age. Is he was brilliant. And he had close to 20 possessions. Goldstein, how many possessions did he have? Oh,
I mean, it wasn't so much his possessions, but he was doing, like, speaking of the 1 percenters that Jared mentioned, he was doing little, like, I know the shepherd is dead in this modern day footy. The shepherd is dead. It's all about transition and who can get onto the next handball. But he was putting his body in front of, 2 or 3 Sydney players just so Durham and Merritt and Setters and Calders could get a clearance, or, he was shepherding for caddy and things you don't see necessarily on the ground or you're on this TV and you're not paying attention to it because he's done his tap and then he's, you're watching the ball, but he was just so good. And another week where he hasn't been able to be subbed, they probably think in an ideal world we sub him, give him a rest if he's looking tired, but he just battled on and, you can just tell that he is so good for this group as well. Like Nick Martin on the way home, his interview as well. They can't speak highly enough of the influence he has emotionally on the group. He's got 10 years on most of them. So, that experience and that wisdom, life experience and wisdom, and from being in the game for so long, he's seen it all. Yeah. So that is, you just can't measure that kind of, you can't measure that.
There was an article on him. I don't know whether it was AFL or if it was in the papers today, but there was an article on him about what he's doing and stuff. And like I said to myself, I wonder if his salary should come under the soft cap because of the amount of coaching that he does now. And he's saying that's, he didn't know that he was going to be that good at it and enjoy it so much, the coaching of what he does and stuff. So I think it's, hats off to him to be able to do that.
And he's such a selfless guy. Like in that article that you're talking about, all he could talk about was how proud he is of Sherry. Sherry is an amalgamation of Goldie. Everything Sherry is, Tristan Sherry, everything he is because of Goldie. I mean, that's probably a stretch too far, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he has been under Goldie's wing for his entire career, and Goldie, molded him into the guy he is today. So I think there's a lot in that too, and so we should be pretty happy, with what Vigo's got to work with.
Yeah, we need to hold on to him even after his career's over.
I've got a question for you. We haven't spoken about this guy, but I thought he had some really good moments. Al Hooley.
Yeah, he was good he went quiet towards the end. Like a lot of the guys that were kind of forward of the ball, but he was fantastic at the start. He was smart decisions. There was an incident in the last quarter where he had the ball out on the far wing. He was on the boundary line. He held it for a while, and the Sydney guy came to him, and then he went to kick it, and it just got smothered and back over the boundary line, and that allowed Sydney after the throw-in to take it forward and stuff. And I just think he just kind of waited a bit too long rather than just kind of kicking for space, even if he, there was probably one-on-one contests down the line or even along. If he can, he's a good kick. So if he just kicked it along the boundary line, up in the air and just forced her, but he was good. He ended up with 21 possessions, and mostly it was all kicks.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, and we also have to remember, even though he is a bit older, he's still a young player, essentially.
Yeah. The pressure of the moment. That's you can't. They just have to play through that, and they just have to learn that. The one who was good under pressure the whole game was Reed again. And I was pretty disappointed with the Foxtel people who interviewed him after the game, because he was on the TV after the game. Yeah. And who's that? Who's the guy that's taken over from Robbo at the Herald Sun?
Oh, Jay Clark.
Guy? Yeah, he was asking him stupid questions. He was asking him questions about, how was Archie Roberts, because he was involved in the Willie Rioli saga. And Zachary just went, I don't know. I didn't even know he was part of that. I don't care.
What?
I was really upset with that. So
so inappropriate. You don't do that after a game. That's a question you'd ask if you were interviewing them the next day.
Yeah, it's just, he was but he was happy with his game, and he was happy with the way or I was happy with the way that the players kind of in that basically along the centre line came back to help the back line and stuff, because we wouldn't have looked that good in the back line in the first half if it wasn't for everyone coming down to help. Which I thought was really good. Well, I thought it was really good.
I couldn't agree more.
What else?
Who else? I mean, it was good to see Wicker get his first goal. That was really good.
Yeah, that was. Oh, I mean, you'll see it on the replay. When you watch the replay, you'll see Dean Cox's face after he kicks that goal, and he just had his hands in because Wicker went through about three. He kind of dodged and weaved about three Sydney players before he kicked it. So and the way he kicked it, he knew what he was kicking. He knew he was going to put some spin on the ball, and it was going to go the other way around and stuff. Yeah. So
tell me, did did Anthony Hudson call Durham's mark really well?
Yeah, but they overplay. I don't think it was a good mark. And there's one angle that you'll see on the replay. There's about 4 angles, and 3 of them it just looks like a normal mark where the guy's from behind. He's just, he's got a step on him. But there was one angle where Durham puts his knee, because I thought he went up too early and stuff, because he was up there for a long time. But he got excited. He got excited.
No, it was don't undersell it. It was as good as if they're replaying it live. It was really it was down our end. It was a high mark, and he didn't have hands.
He jumped.
He jumped. He didn't use his hands. He used his balance. I thought it was good. It was really good. And I thought to myself, the first thing I thought, I just hope whoever commentated that did it really well.
Yeah. John O'Brien, he's another one I remembered. He was at the game. So and he backs up. Like he'll go to the hilt on Peter Wright, and certainly Caddy, as he supports the forwards and stuff like that. Yes. Langford did well after what's his name went off. Hayes went off. Langford went into the back line and stuff, and you didn't see him and stuff, but you knew he was going to do. He's a very smart player and stuff. So I thought that was good. We were lucky. Sydney missed a lot of goals, a lot of opportunities and stuff to kick their way into it and that, but they kind of lost that game in the first half. It's as simple as that.
Yeah,
Swans did.
agreed.
So, and I thought we were good. I was happy, except for that last it was the last 5 minutes for me. That's when I got really, really nervous. And then once we started holding it up on the sides and stuff, I started to calm down straight away because they've been doing that for a while now. And for the most part, they're pretty good at it. And stuff. So
you could you could sense at the game their more experienced players, Heaney and Chad Warner, literally just both took the team on their back, and then Hayward got on board, Florent got on board, and they were like, "Nah, I'm going to push this," because Setterfield and Durham did a fantastic job. They were oscillating between when Heaney took himself down to the forward line, one would swap on him. They were like juggling the both of them, and I think they were victorious in that. I barely noticed Heaney. Chad Warner got the ball, but it pressured disposal. But it really felt like it felt like this Heaney and Warner are going to get this team over the line.
Yeah, and it would have. Yeah, they would have. Warner especially, he would have. I mean, did he kick 2 behinds in that last quarter? I think.
Yeah.
But he, So.
Oh.
We regroup and we go again next week.
Oh my God, it's gonna be an enjoyable replay.
Yeah, Hayes is. If Scott said that he's gone, and you can only go by what he says and stuff. So worst case,
and they would know.
They
would know.
Like,
as I said before, they would know the signs by now.
It's bad luck. It's not anything else. It's just bad luck. It's that I put it down to the ground where they're playing and stuff. But that's it's just bad luck. He landed the way he landed and stuff. He came up and his legs were everywhere. Like it was, and you wouldn't have noticed. It was just an awkward landing and stuff. No hyperextensions or anything like that. Right. It was just an awkward landing, bit of a crab landing, put it that way.
Right. Okay. So literally bad luck. Like I personally, my gut tells me that these injuries have got nothing to do with the fitness staff. But when someone says it, you always have to think. So I think bad luck. Yeah. Thank you, Dave. You are so informative.
Worries,
you are my resident. You are my eyes at home when I am at the game. I love what you bring. Thank you for joining. Go enjoy. What are you drinking? Scotch, whiskey?
No. I finished the red, so I texted my dad during the game and said, "Can you send some more wine up?" So I'm having a white wine for God's sake, and I've just eaten while I was waiting and stuff and reading the stats and listening to you guys and commenting. I've eaten a whole finocchio.
I can't wait for it to get colder so the finocchio comes back in. I could down I have in the past. I have known to down like 2 whole heads. Literally, I love it. Love finocchio.
That was my salad.
All right, Dave. Have a great night, and I will chat to you soon.
You will. Ciao.
Bye. The chat is going off, you guys. You are making me laugh. No nails left. Yes, I feel you. Super Dunks. Fiona's favourite player, Willie Rioli. Did I not warn you all how many Fiona's forecasts ago? How many when we played Port Adelaide? I told you he is a dirty player. I will never forgive him after the Ridley incident. And I mean, I'm being proven right. I think it is a touchy subject. It is a touchy area because being, the person he is, you can't open him up and subjectify him to, social media abuse because he's going to cop it. It's just like the women in the industry. We are brave enough as a woman. I consider myself now being part of them, but your Sarah Jones, your Kelly Underwoods, your Daisy Pearce, we are brave enough to be putting ourselves out here. And unfortunately, it is the time and it is, the era where we need to be encouraging more women to get into the game. We need to be encouraging more Indigenous players to come into the game. But by doing that and by putting ourselves out there, we are opening ourselves up to a fuck ton of pushback and abuse and bigotry of all the kinds. And so sometimes you have to have you have to have a bit of self-awareness, and you have to know that going hard at this guy for what he's done is going to put him in a really, really bad position, and to just not do it. So unfortunately, we just have to leave it at that. This made me laugh a lot. John, best on ground for Essendon, Aaron Francis. Oh my God. He had an absolute mare. A mare. Oh, I can't wait to watch on the replay. What the hell did he do when he went into the goals and was in front of the goals? Like it felt like he was a whisker away from the goal and he missed it. Tell me what happened. Aaron Hayes did not play like a debutant. It's going to be hard to replace him if he keeps playing like that. Yeah, how good. You know, it's taken a while for him to get his debut, but he was really good. I think he had a couple of shaky moments. I think he got done for holding the ball and they got a shot on goal, but he was really good. He was really good. Happy. Dune, I'm not an Essendon fan, but I'm liking how they're winning without playing great. It's a good sign. Thank you for being here. Appreciate your support. This is an Essendon fan cam, but feel free to come on. If you are a great opposition supporter, feel free to jump on and have a chat with me. You are all welcome, respectful, kind opposition supporters. A flag Don's 25. Yeah, okay, sure. Okay, you guys stop. Ethnic Finocchio. I stocked up this week. Oh, is it? I haven't bought any because I haven't thought it's has been, you know, it's not quite in season yet. So I haven't bought any. Same with the chestnuts. I'm waiting for it to get a bit colder before I stock up on them. Man, this fan cam has been a lot food related. I'm not mad. Are you mad about that? So did I. Everyone with us turned away and we were like just cowering, and then all of a sudden they're setting up for a kick in. What did he do though? Can you explain, Ethnic, please, what he did? It looked like he ran into goal and then like missed it or kicked it through the post, or did he hit the post? I don't know, but it was really bad, and that was just the first of bad things he did. I thought, yeah, from where we were, that was, yeah, really, really bad. Any point now, T-lism, at any time expecting him. However, please, I know he's bringing all the he's bringing a lot of you to the yard, but I'm hoping many of you are here for the Essendon fans and the person who started the channel. But no, absolutely, yes, he hopefully will be making an appearance soon. Ooh, what about the prickly pears? I bought so many batches this summer. Oh, yes, the prickly pears. Do you like the yellow ones or the pink ones? I like the yellow ones. The pink ones are a bit really quite potent. Dave, side of the boot, it looked like he kicked it. Yeah, it did. It really did. I subscribed 2 weeks ago for your Horts friend from Scotland. But I like Essendon as they were formed by a Scottish family. I hate too long. Oh, my gosh. Dune, can you please jump on for a chat? What time is it in Scotland? I want you to come on for a chat, please. That's amazing. How many games do you watch? Do you watch many of the games? The Hawks games, obviously. I bet you're happy with how they're going. Personally, they haven't been bad for long enough, but yeah, all power to the club. Just incredible. John, he hit the wrong side of the ball. I mean, I feel like I could have kicked that personally. I know the pressure's there, but the vibrant pink ones, yes, they're like candy. Oh, that's a good shout. Yeah, I feel like the yellow ones are tropical, a bit tropical tasting. I do like my tropical fruits. Simon, thank you for being here. Brad Scott, shut up shop far too early, nearly lost us the game. Oh, so are you saying, by saying that, Simon, you think it was tactical? Did he go into preservation mode or something? That's what I'm hearing for you. Is that what you think? know. It looked like they looked really tired to me, but I could be wrong. Solution: I'm having deep fried swan tonight. Oh, I don't sell it anywhere, so I had to source it from Coburg Lake. That made me laugh more than what it should have. Wow. For a second there, I'm so delusional. This club is making me crazy. Football is making me crazy. Stockholm Syndrome. Can I get an amen? When I first read that, I'm having deep fried swan. When I first read that, I thought, that's a thing. Like a part of my brain thought that was actually a thing for a second. That's not a thing, and I just got what you meant. That's yeah, well done. That's brilliant. Moby, Dooney's a truckie from Sunbury. Oh. I'm the most gullible person in the world, so one of you has to clarify this. Are you having me on? That is not nice. I watch about 3 or 4 games a week. Some guys kick off 4 a.m, so kind of hard to watch them all. It's midday here, and it will come on next week after Essendon game, but how do I do it? Which one of you is telling me the truth? This is not, don't do this to me. Don't. That's not nice. Don't. Lol, Moby, I've never even heard of Sunbury. But now I'm convinced that you're playing into it. Oh no. Until you come on and confirm this, Doon, I am not going to believe either of you. So okay. If Ethnic says it, you wouldn't lie to me, would you, Ethnic? I don't think you would, please. Up to shenanigans. Okay. You want me to type Scottish? Say something Scottish. I'm not going to be convinced until you come on. If you can't come on tonight, then I need you to come on at some point. The link is in the chat. There you go. If you can't come on tonight, then next time I need proof. Anthony!
Hey, mate.
Hello. Are you at work?
Can you hear me? No, I'm not at work. I'm in our mud room, hiding because it's Mother's Day tomorrow, so my wife's gone to bed early, and I'm trying to stay somewhere quiet. The 2-year-old's asleep.
You are a good husband. What are you doing? Are you getting up early to get the kids breakfast in bed for mum, or what?
No, she's not a massive breakfast eater, but
Okay.
the kids we've got presents all wrapped and all that kind of stuff ready for the morning. But we've started tonight, and keeping with the food theme, I've made lasagna for tomorrow's Mother's Day lunch.
Ooh, love a good lasagna. Oh, he's a cook too. Just when I thought you couldn't get any better, Nathan. Good husband, good dad, good cook. Trifecta, and a Bomber supporter. I mean, how are you? How'd you go tonight?
Look, I was a bit resigned in the last 10 minutes. I thought, oh, here we go. But to be honest, like thinking about it brought back visions of last year where we lost that Gold Coast game, we lost that Adelaide game, and a bit of PTSD. But thinking about this year, they've really trained those kinds of games in, and that's a couple now. So the Port game, there's this game, there was the West Coast game, even the North game, where we could have just easily lost those, easily. So I thought we did really well tonight.
You know what? Like, and fair enough. Like, it's clear that we are going to be in these types of games for the near future. So we need to
100%.
like make it our focus. If it's looking like that is just where we're at as a team, and Collingwood were in the same spot first year McRae came in, Craig McRae.
100%. That's really good.
And they got the close ones because they probably drilled it in at training. So it's clearly what the club have done, and Brad Scott.
Yeah, I mean, you win. Winning is a habit. So you win those close ones, and eventually you start to build on that, and they become bigger wins. And next thing you know, you're like Collingwood, and you're thrashing everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And then staying up there too. That's the point of this. Because
yes.
You know what?
Let's
these kind of wins, I'm adamant. I said it last week. These kinds of wins, as frustrating as they are for me, the players, especially the young guys, they're getting the equivalent of like 5 games experience in one. Like, it's better for them to win like that than I know it's better for us to win by 50 points, but for them, the experience they're getting from this is better for their development than winning by 50 points.
Well, yeah, you say that, and that makes me think of Zach Reid, because the pressure was on, and honestly, I'd give him my 3 votes for tonight, because without him, there's a lot of those attacks that were repelled by him in especially that last 15 minutes. I know there was a few stats in here. Jackson Pryor got 14 marks and Zach Reid got 14 marks, but I would rate Zach Reid's 14 marks double what I rate Jackson Pryor's 14 marks.
Yep. Because, I mean, where Jackson, I don't know the stats, I haven't looked at them, but I'm assuming just from being at the ground, Zach Reid's would have had more contested marks.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And even, Ben Mackay, that first half, probably even in the second half, he had a couple, but a couple of his marks, they really saved goals in that first half. So
he took one.
Yeah, really great game.
He took that huge contested mark in the first quarter with like the first 5 minutes of the game.
One hand.
And I said, it's all in here. He takes that. He is going to have a great game because it's all in here for him.
100%. Yeah. Yep.
All in here. And then he did not drop he was so good. So really happy for him. Did not drop his bundle once.
And look, I'll put my hand up and saying I've potted Pidge a few times. Not that I don't think he should be in the team. My thing is I don't think he should be vice captain. I think he's a good player. But fuck, he had a great game tonight. He had a great game.
Yeah. Those first 3 quarters, I reckon Zach Reid was important, but I thought he was half the reason why we got a lot of ascendancy. As I said earlier, I can't remember who I said it to, but, he was thoughtful with his disposal as opposed to just bombing it, anywhere.
Yeah. And Cads, I think a few people mentioned Cads as well. He's really given me some good vibrations. Liked it. Joy.
All the good vibes from Caddy. The joy. It's just joyful. It was quiet. His mate, Kako, did he? No, he didn't. I don't think he hit the scoreboard, or he did.
He did. He kicked a goal. He kicked a goal when, he was pretty lucky not to have given away the holding the ball free kick, and then he got given the holding the ball free kick.
It was a square up, don't worry. 5 minutes later, we got a square up. So it's fine.
It was one of those old, my mother-in-law is she doesn't even go for either team, but she goes for the team she tipped for, and she tipped for Swans. And so I was like, oh, yeah. It was a rough one. But we'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, 100%. Anthony was, go.
No. All good.
I was just going to say thank you so much. It's so wonderful to see your face. Happy Mother's Day to your wife tomorrow, and I'll see you on the next live.
Thanks, Fiona. Have a good night.
Good night. Hello, Rowan.
Hello, how are you? Can you hear me all right this week? Hopefully the line won't drop out. If it does, I'll go to plan B. So
no, it's perfect at the moment. I know you've very kindly come on. You're on what game are you watching?
I'm watching Gold Coast Bulldogs, and I was hoping to keep an eye on the showdown, but I honestly haven't even checked the scores yet. So I think it's about quarter time, that one.
What's the score of the Suns Dogs game?
Well, I'll give you viewers an update. Hang on. We have halftime up in Darwin. Gold Coast it's just disappeared on me. Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you know it? Gold Coast is 7 points up, and Port are 2 points up on Adelaide 7 minutes into the second quarter. So
we've had
usually
very close games.
I'll be. Yeah. Well, it's one of those cliched where they call it no matter where they are on the ladder, sort of, So I'll be alternating between the two of them. Hopefully, if my connection stands up. But I've got, I don't know, 10 minutes or so now, I reckon. So I'm sure you've already
Well, let's go. You obviously watched the game from home, or were you at the game?
Where were I was at the game. Where were you? I was sitting in my seat.
Oh, I was sitting with some mates up on level 2 in the view bar. So that's a nice little view from there. I've never been up there. That was nice. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
No, level 2 is not bad. Oh, look. In a nutshell, I reckon again, perhaps unusually for me, I'm going to do the glass half full. I think it was a great effort, and they died. They absolutely died. They were going up and down spot by the end of it, but fortunately had enough of a lead to survive. And you could sense it was going to happen. I'm son and daughter as per usual, and during the third quarter, I mean, Sydney sort of dominated. I think they had 17 inside fifths for the third quarter, but couldn't hit the target. So their inaccuracy obviously really helped. But I guess I'd rather concentrate on our good half or 2.5 quarters, and that's as good a footy. I reckon that's as good a footy as we've played for at least a couple of years. I just think all the elements came together. I think, someone's just said my Mark of Cain and helmet discography on the shelves. Actually, if people are looking, I've got a point. I've got a Paul Kelly platinum record that my brother who played with Paul Kelly.
Yep.
That's his.
Cool.
And there's a couple more down there. I haven't actually got enough room in my to hang them all. So I've got a few of them, and I'm wearing my Cold Chisel Circus Animals t-shirt.
Brilliant!
One of my favourite albums. Anyway, I digress. I thought it was basically off the back of the pressure. I thought the perfect today. I thought the tackling was good. I thought the harassment was good, and it was when that sort of fell off just a bit. I think that was more through, sort of physical exhaustion as much as anything. Sydney lifted too, because they were pretty horrendous. That's what really sort of turned the tables. But for mine, we're a much, much better side. And it was for someone at halftime. No one talks about this guy, but I reckon this guy makes us a stronger, tougher side, and that's Will Setterfield. I thought pretty good today, and I thought his contest stuff was really important. And the other guy I love as a barometer of F side is Xavier Dersma, who I mean, I was a big fan of him even at Port, but he's just, there was one goal, I'm trying to remember which goal it was, and I can't, but his effort just to make a contest out on the wing and sport likely to be a pretty easy Sydney mark, forced a kick under pressure, which turned it over and ended up in an Essendon goal. And just stuff like that, priceless. And that's what I thought was really good. I'm loving Caddy's attack on the football as well. I think you can really see now he's sort of thrown his body around a bit without much of a clue previously, whereas now he's with a bit more sort of nous at this level. You can see he can actually do some damage with that big frame of his, and he's got a lot more confidence in throwing that weight around. So I thought that was really important as well. I thought, outstanding. I thought McGrath, I reckon McGrath for the last 3 or 4 weeks has been terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, he still makes some clangers at times. And I guess if you want to talk about negatives, we didn't fold, but one thing, and it's really noticeable from where our seats are, that you could just see the confidence drain out of them as Sydney got close. So, I didn't think that playing that sort of possession brand of footy was necessarily the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, agree.
But without confidence, they were sort of kicking off one step to targets and missing the targets and turning the ball over. And, by the end of it, we couldn't even hit a target from 5 metres away. And it was sort of like, exactly. They were just praying for the siren to go, as were we all. And finally it did. But you've got to look at it in the overall context of 4 quarters. And I think if you do that, it is a really good win. I mean, they've beaten a grand finalist of last year, admittedly on its share of injuries, but they're a really experienced, good side with some great players, the Swans. They know how to come from behind. They do it regularly. They can never write them off. And, they threw the kitchen sink at Essendon for the second half, but just couldn't get there. So, a really valuable learning tool in terms of, sort of standing up under pressure. They get the win. And here we go again. It's like this is a third season in a row where you're looking at Essendon's win-loss tally and go, geez, are we that good? Well, no, we are. Hang on, my son's trying. Hey, David, you can come out. My son's just coming out today. No, come on, say good day.
Join the fan cam.
He's good.
Okay.
He's a bit camera shy.
Oh,
why?
are you sure he's your son?
Like we're 5'3". And what's that?
Are you sure he's your son, camera shy?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. They're sort of shy away from the publicity, might say, kids. I'm looking at the win-loss thing at 5'3" now and thinking, how do we do that? Again, I don't feel like we've played outstanding footy, but we've played good football in patches. And fortunately, those patches have been long enough to get over the line. But, I haven't even looked at it, but we've won 4 or 5 games by 12 points or less. So, we're doing it on the skin of our ass, aren't we?
I feel like it felt like last week we had one really great quarter, the first quarter, and then the next 3 quarters were like hard in mouth. This week, instead, it wasn't even just 2 good quarters. It was essentially 3 good-ish quarters. The third, yes, it looked a bit shaky, but as a whole, the scoreboard didn't get away from us, and Sydney didn't put that scoreboard pressure on. So how I look at it as if we're just slowly extending the bracket, and slowly, both ends of the ground are getting some consistency. I mean, we're trying, but what the freak? How? I mean, Hayes done an ACL. How? Like, what is this?
Yeah, well, I don't know what you've talked about, but I was just literally having a look on the AFL website then, and it's all been confirmed. So, look, it's just, it's shocking. Like, he was looking very, very comfortable, I thought. It was really impressive. So that's 4, isn't it? It's, 4 in relatively quick succession too. I guess, there's not much of an upside of it, but the consolation is that, whilst there's this sort of injury plague, it means that they have no choice but to blood more young guys. Yeah. And, I thought, Day Wicks showed plenty. Great goal he kicked. Hayes, looked very comfortable. Someone's saying there, shaky. Do you mind if I read your text? Shaky Snake says with the 4 picks in the mid-season draft, we should 4 guys whose names are Zach or Zach. Yeah, it's a very new age name, Zach, isn't it?
Not a bad strategy. Both our Zachs.
Pretty handy. Oh, actually, now you mention it, I wanted to address this because, just before some, I called him numbnuts on Twitter because, surprise, surprise, I was copying flack on social media. There seems to be this mythology we've developed where apparently I reckon Zach Reid was no good. And I said this apparently on the lunchtime a catch-up podcast. Well, look, I haven't listened to it back, but I'm almost certain that what I actually said was if he couldn't get on the park,
100%.
They needed to cut their losses. And I think that was with some justification, given that in 5 seasons he'd played, 13 games or something.
Yeah. And his mental state, in that time, he's come out and actually said that he was really mentally not coping well. So I don't think it's unfair summation.
Yeah. Did you read that interview in The Age? It was pretty
yes, I did.
Is that what you're quoting from?
Yeah. He said that he was mentally not coping with it.
That was Mark McGowan, I think, wrote that. Yeah, he was very frank about it, wasn't he? And I remember someone from the club actually saying to me during that period that he was really struggling with it, and they were sort of wondering whether even give it away. I mean, and look, a club, you can carry guys for a while, but if a bloke's played literally a dozen games in Fizz, can you really afford to carry him for a 6th and a 7th? And that's all I was saying, that if he couldn't get on the park, they needed to cut their losses. And look, I think Essendon's had a habit of taking too long to decide whether guys are going to cut it or not. In fairness to him, we didn't know, but at some point, there you go, someone's sticking up for me. Thanks, Moby. Says, I definitely said he needs to
well done, Moby.
Well, it's not,
and
it's
yeah.
But look, hats off to him. Should also say, I mean, how many games have we played this season? 8. I mean,
9.
Let's not get ahead of it. Sorry, ahead of ourselves. Let him play a full year, and there's absolutely no question. He's an extremely talented player who, if he stands up, will be a very good long-term AFL player. But, I wouldn't be sort of sticking you for people like me after 8 games. Let's see him stand up for a full season. And I reckon I understand why it happens. But anyway, I'll just, in my own defence there, because I've been copping a bit of it, but that, wouldn't be the first time. But yeah, look, right. He's been a massive plus this year. Like I said, Setterfield, no one talks about him. He's pretty unspectacular, but I think that big body is pretty important to that Essendon midfield. I think McGrath, he doesn't. I mean, I've been, he has a lot of critics, and I've been one of them. More recently, his last month, I think probably from the West Coast game onwards, he's been terrific. I feel like that whole back line has been a bit more organised. They're still a bit accident prone at times. I mean, I don't know the skills coaching out there. I don't know who's teaching them handballs, but there's so many guys. That handball of Redmond's today, they got turned over and ended up to the, I don't know which end it is. I can never tell them apart. But, that's basic sort of footy 101 stuff. You've got to be able to hit a handball target from 5-10 metres away. And again, in that last quarter, when they lost confidence and they were just hanging on for dear life, you what it's like when you tense up and you start pulling your kicks and you're not sort of flowing.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's how it looks. Again, the more you go through that.
On Setterfield, I agree. Nobody speaks of him. He's ranked 4 in tackles per game in the entire AFL and ranked 10th in goal assists per game in the AFL. They are 2 incredibly important metrics, like to be ranked so highly. When we're in a developing year and we're in the bottom echelon of teams in terms of quality, those are 2 important metrics. Yeah. So I think it's I just wanted to stop on that because, he's not one that's come up tonight.
Yeah, no, spot on. And I'll tell you the other thing that he gives them that they don't have otherwise, just that bit of balance. The best midfields have a range of different players. They'll have, an explosive player. They'll have an in and under possession accumulator. They'll have the big body who can, other mids flying out of the way with a bit of hard physical contact. And if you're very, very lucky, you get a couple or 3 of those things in the one package, i.e. Bontempelli or Patrick Cripps or someone like that. You get the big body, the skill, the racking up the touches. We've tended to, our like big possession getters, say Merritt or Parrish a few years ago, not big bodies. They're not going to hurt the opposition physically, So I like the fact that there's a range of different types of midfielder now. And just on Merritt too. I mean, look, we all know what a superstar he is. In fact, on the way home tonight, we were talking about where he now ranks in the pantheon of Essendon. And I'd say, look, it's really interesting that they did a Champions of Essendon exercise. It's now a long time ago, 2002, and if you redid it now, you'd have quite a few differences. But, probably 80-90% of all the greatest players of Essendon have come out of two eras pretty much, and one from that mid-40s to early 50s when they won 4 flags and played in 7 grand finals, and the early to mid-80s when 84, 85. A couple of exceptions, Hurd in there, and Graham Moss is sort of up there too. But, what's he won? 5 best and fair, and he's done it in a pretty poor, statistically, the poorest era of Essendon's history, or longest without a flag.
100%.
And very long-winded here, but a couple of years, if he'd been shut out of a game like he was early today by Jordan, who's a really good tagger, that might have been it for his meaningful contribution. Now he goes forward and he kicks a couple of goals and helps, give some breathing space. And that's and not only does it demonstrate, but it also demonstrates his incredible appetite for hard work, because that would have been him. I guarantee you that would have been him going or realising without needing to be told, when I get shut down, I've got to have another string to my bow.
Yep.
And that's what all the good midfielders do now. And one on the other side today who was very quiet, but Isaac Heaney, even the best pure midfielders now are capable of going forward and kicking goals. He's now doing it regularly. So what a superstar he is. And, even when he's having a bad day now, you just know he's never going to stay down for the full game. Inspiring leader, in a way, I can't believe it took him so long to make him captain, but I'm really glad he is. He's he's a superstar.
Yeah, he's done a power of work. He's, leadership in the sense, being a captain doesn't necessarily come natural to a personality type like him. He's an introvert. He's been an introvert. He's that type of personality, and that's fantastic as an athlete, but not necessarily on a team. For a tennis player, that's brilliant because you can lock in and you're so focused on your own team. And I didn't think he had it in him to be captain, because I know that you need to open your heart and you need to be vulnerable, and that's not his personality. But all credit to him, he has stepped into bravery and absolutely let the boys in to his space, and he's been phenomenal. And I know Andy McGrath, people bemoan Andy McGrath because he's the opposite personality of Merritt, but sometimes I think you need that.
Yeah, a bit of what they call it, yin and yang.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which I don't know which one's which actually, but
neither do I.
No, you're right. They're different sort of personalities, but you need a group. And we were talking last week about I spent a bit of time out at the club and talking to people out there, and one thing that's become a real focus for them is developing this sort of next tier of leaders, or not next tier, but a larger group of leaders. And, look, who are we talking about? I don't know, but it doesn't necessarily have to be your betters, although, usually it sort of is. But, it's an interesting thing to ponder, really, because I think about it. I look at the on-field stuff and I think, who are the sorts of guys who set the sort of example out there that I think would be a good leadership example? And one of them comes to mind, and I mentioned him before, is Xavier Dersma, who is, aside from someone says Paul, he says McGrath's Merritt's Yang. I don't know what the difference is. It's like, positive and negative with magnets, I suppose. But
thanks, Paulie.
Xavier, very, very talented. He's also a very, very smart guy, Xavier Dersma. And if I'm not saying people would doubt that, social media a bit, check out his, I hope I don't dive him in here, but he's really good on Twitter. I love some of his stuff on. It's fair to say he comes from a fairly progressive family. Let's just say their politics are sort of in accordance with my politics. So I'm happy about that.
That's right up your alley. That's right in your wheelhouse.
Well, Okay, just very, very quickly. I don't want to alienate people, but people. I get called an extreme leftist. I'm not an extreme leftist. Social progressive. There's a very important difference, I would argue.
Exactly.
Although I could talk at length about the election result last week.
No.
I wasn't unhappy about that, I have to say.
Very-
Anyway, I'm going to get back
Yes, I can see that.
to this game. And Darwin, anything else you want? Anything else you want to touch on?
No, that has been amazing.
I'm interested. People you've spoken to so far tonight, what's the overall flavour? Are people really happy with it, or are they sort of worried that we faded out, or what? How that?
I mean, we're all a bit like, our nerves are all a bit shot because we're like, oh, here we go again. But the overalling feeling is that last couple of minutes of, as you said, just holding the ball, maintaining possession, you run 30 seconds off, and then you kick it on and run 30 seconds off. I was listening on the way home to an interview. They were interviewing Nick Martin. I think it was on ABC. And he mentioned that after the Port game, they went for shots on goal for too quickly. And the coaches said that that's something they need to work on. And since then, they've been training it, how to do it. And tonight, that's exactly what they did. And they said that Brad Scott should be, looking at them and being so proud because they completely they undertook exactly what they've been practicing all along. Yeah, everybody's very.
What was that one at the end with Shu? Who was it? Was it Martin? I'm trying to remember, out in the forward pocket.
Shield, and then Perkins.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Sorry, who did I say? I mean, Shield and Perkins. Yeah, I mean that took a minute off the clock. I think when Shield got it, it was 2.5. It was as good as game over. So yeah, that sort of stuff. And I'll tell you what, I know people hear stuff like that and they think, oh, can it really difference? Well, I'll tell you, like 2 years ago when Collingwood had that incredible, phenomenal run of winning close games, and I know even I thought, it has to be primarily luck, but their time management is so good. And if you want proof for that, have a look at the possible example of it in the grand final. So Brisbane, Joe Danaher kicks the last goal of the grand final. It goes back to, 3 points, 4 points. From that last centre bounce, okay, Lachie Neale, but from the time that kick, they call play on, went inside 50, Collingwood's time management of that last couple of minutes was superb, and that's how they ended up winning the bulk of those games. But if that just gets you over the line in 2 or 3 games, that can be, 3 or 4 spots different. I mean, look, I said it before. We've won 5 games and 4 of the wins have been by 12 points or less.
And I said before, Rowan, that in a sense, these kind of games are teaching these young kids more than what a 50-point thrash, like a cruisy game would.
Oh, yeah.
Like what they're doing, it's like these lessons are going to be invaluable down the track, because when they're in a prelim or when they're in a final, praise be, like if they're in this situation, they'll cope with it a bit better.
Yeah, look, my heart's not too happy about it. I might have to get you guys to get called 0-0 one of these games.
Yeah, I know.
Not far off, but that's how big a difference it makes. So you've got what was today, a 8-point result. You've got a 12-point result. You've got a 3-point result, and a total of 4 goals difference across 4 games, and we could be hang on, 1 and so my maths is, I'm shot, but you know what I mean. Like it's that fine a margin, and the competition is so tight now that you just need every possible advantage you can get. So, as my wife, someone said, let's get me a Wi-Fi booster. Is it?
It's been choppy. It's been choppy, but I didn't want to. Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you, Rowan, because we're all glued to you. Everybody's been calling for you.
I'll do it on my phone. Actually, funnily enough, like until about a month ago, our internet was terrific.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if someone's hacked into it, but it has been dropping out a bit. Although, like I record the Footyology podcast on Zoom with Rodney Eade, and we never have any issues. So
okay. Well,
I don't know.
this is going to be. Well, this is looking like it's a very, very popular segment of the week. So you're going to have to improve that Wi-Fi because we want you on every week. So thank you so much, Rowan, for giving us your time.
Right.
I know you have to get back and watch the game. At least they're entertaining games, it's looking like. So thank you so much. And we'll catch you next time.
All right, go Bombers.
Good night.
See ya.
Oh, that was great. But yes, no, Dave, I agree. I didn't want to interrupt him because I was, he's so valuable with everything he says. But yes, let's hope he gets a better connection. All right, just to finish up, a few more minutes. Simon, I like said his contribution, but love Durham and Robbo. Head over the ball, no nonsense, direct, not the most polished every week, the most competitive we have, the spark of the team and hardest at it. Wow, Simon, I couldn't have said it better. That is absolute chef's kiss summed up by you. Absolute, my brother-in-law calls it scrubbers. Every team needs scrubbers. The last one we had was Michael Hibbard. No nonsense, tough. Speaking of leadership that Rowan was mentioning, I think Roberts has leadership written all over him. Personally, I think he will be a really, really great, a great leader for us down the track. Just a sneaky suspicion. Super Dunks loved his rugby table over the line, go over the goal line to force the kick out. Who was that? What else? Someone's on Netflix. Yeah, possibly. Sometimes that happens when someone else is streaming. Never interrupt Roko on a rail. Where's a fan base? This exactly. I didn't want to stop his flow, Oh, 100% captain written all over him. Yeah, I agree. I actually find Durham much more skilled than what he gets credit for. Yeah, probably. I think because he's so tough and hard and competitive, he gets pigeonholed a bit. But yeah, do the stats back that up? Super Dunk. What's his efficiency, disposal? That probably help us. Dursma. Thank you. Oh yeah, and God, he also he's such a finesse player, but he's tough. He will just put his body on the line. It scares me sometimes because I think, he could possibly get hurt here and concussed, and I think he has been. All right, my friends, I think that is probably going to do us for another fan cam. Everybody in the chat, you know the drill now, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I'm going to be a drainer. Thank you so much for all of your support, for all of you who have been here for the last couple of hours. Wonderful. The chat was really entertaining tonight. You've kept me up and about. Not another 2 a.m. bedtime for me, which is great. What are most of you going to be doing? Watching the replay like me? Or although the two games on right now are looking like they're really close. So which game are you watching? Maybe catch the replay tomorrow. What is the day tomorrow? Sunday, yes. So lovely, nice Sunday. Happy Mother's Day to all your mums and wives and sisters and daughters. I hope everybody gets up. I hope you all in the chat. I think you're predominantly males, so I hope you're all getting up and making breakfast or dinner. Like if you're like Anthony, I hope you've got dinner made and presents wrapped and flowers ordered, because women make the world go round and mothers certainly do. So Paulie, Showdown is awesome. All right, Showdown on, and then we'll watch the replay. Dennis, yes, I am fading. You know when I start to fade because I feel like I'm not drunk, but I start slurring my words. But it's been fun. You guys have kept me here, so it's been amazing connecting with some new people. I am going to be thinking about the Scottish man for all week, so you better literally come on and talk to me so I cannot think if you were having me on, because I am incredibly gullible. I like to take everybody at their word. So do you live in Scotland? Please confirm. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, everybody. Have a great rest of the weekend, and I will see you. Fiona's forecast will be out on Tuesday night, and then the live team selection Thursday night. So thank you all. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon.